Alrighty guys, what is going on? My name is Thrill Central. I am with Will from the Alternate YT, and we are on our way to Holiday World right now. We've got a 2-part trip here, so it's gonna be Holiday World today, Kings Island tomorrow. So we're about, what, like an hour and a half from Holiday World? Hour 15. So I guess we'll just go over some expectations for right now. So right now we know
Voyage is the top 5.
Voyage is definitely perspective, top 10, top 5, top Woody. You know, perspective is definitely up there. Thunderbird could easily be the top wing for both of us. Yeah. You know, I guess we'll have to see which one we like better, Raven or Legend. Raven, I think I might like better, just because.
I'm gonna say I'm not expecting any bad wooden coasters. I'm expecting them all to be above par. Yeah,
honestly, I'll just be happy if Raven and Legend are good, and I like get back on. I'm like, I'll do that again. You know, I've heard some people say Legend is like rough. So we'll see. But as long as, you know, those two are good, like I said, Voyage should be good. Thunderbird should be good. Now our main concern, I wanted to do this before we even got into the park, because we were talking that, you know, one of the main issues with this park is that they only have 4 coasters and a drop tower as far as thrill rides go. And then we were saying, like, what's it gonna look like with crowds if everybody's just flocking to those 4 rides, because there's no other rides to soak up those crowds. And the other thing is, we both got an email saying that they are short-staffed and that they were gonna be periodically rotating staff on rides, or maybe that's just a daily basis. So some rides are gonna be down. Not any of the coasters are gonna have all the coasters fully staffed and ready to go all day, but with low staffing issues, that means even more rides are gonna be closed. So we're just gonna have to, we're wondering how crowds are gonna be, but we're really hyped to go here. Like we said, Voyage looks incredible. And we've heard a lot of great things from this park because it is family owned, just the way that they do things there. So we're really excited, but definitely we're interested to see how the crowds are. So I will resume the vlog when we get there. I mean, it's better themed than I thought coming in. Like, it does look really good.
I mean,
it reminds me, like, well, you haven't been to it, but it, like, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, it looks a lot like that. All right, so this is the way to Voyage. We've got a massive crowd here.
the water park,
oh my god.
Somebody's going.
But you can see the bottom of it, so we're close. Wow, unbelievable. All right, here we go. First ride on the Voyage. All right, okay, so pretty much all of the hype around this is legit, right?
Shit, 100%.
This is easily a top 5 coaster, period. Easily, I liked it better than Toro.
It's one of the only coasters I would ever say
it is.
Maybe be too
long. Oh my god, it hurts me to say I like it better than Toro, but it is.
Yeah.
It's smooth.
As a wooden coaster.
We rode it in the front. That was our first ride. We rode it dead front. All right, so it's smoother than Toro.
No.
It's got the length. There wasn't like.
There was many moments that surprised me though that I was standing up.
It was all like, but it was all mostly floater, but it was good.
Right?
But it was good floater.
I definitely hit my lap bar and had to stand up in the train.
All right, let's go get another ride. I'm tired of waiting. Let's go. All right, well, this would not be a trip to Holiday World without getting to take a sip of the free. All these drinks are free. You can walk up, you can take any of these cups, and it's free. Absolutely love it. All right, so Voyage back row, you did not like so much. I thought it was spectacular. It was rough. It was definitely a lot rougher.
I'll give you Relentless, but not in a good way.
So you think Relentless, but not in a good way. I absolutely loved it.
I probably would have enjoyed it. It hit a spot on my back that just ruined the entire second half of the ride. So I was holding onto the train, trying to make it not hurt.
I feel that. It was definitely it was definitely rougher in the back. It's definitely not smooth. Smooth in the front, yes. Back, no. But just a great ride overall. I think, to me, it's just how long it is. Yeah. I just value that ride time so much. Like, it just does not end. Like even at the end where you're going back toward the station, like it just seems to go on. Like you think it might take a turn and go into the brake run, like Mako, but it just doesn't. So Thunderbird is up next. All right, so what do we wait? An hour and a half for Legend? Yeah, they're running one train. We don't know why, but
Talk about a lateral focus.
what was it worth the hour and a half?
If it was my home park now.
Yeah, I mean, to get the credit, you know, we were definitely in line. We waited for the front, so it was maybe.
It was cool to go.
Yeah, no, when we went under the water park, yeah, there was a water special, but it was a cool insane. Probably the most laterals on any coaster I've been on. You said Beast is a maybe, but easily for me, that is the most laterals I've ever been on.
Yeah. This moment,
which was weird because I was on the seat. You were to my left, and everything was throwing us to the left. So it wasn't bad. It was smoother than I thought it would have been. It was interesting, but
it's well kept. That's for sure.
I mean, definitely that hour and a half wait didn't help. So off to Raven.
Yep.
So now on our way to Thunderbird. I think it's official. Raven is
terrible.
Raven is definitely the fourth, and we haven't even been on we haven't even been on Thunderbird, and Raven's 4. Nah, I mean,
nothing good.
Maybe at some point it was good, but definitely not something that should have won 4 golden tickets. It won either 3 or 4, but I would say definitely not a winner. So Legend was definitely better. Really rough in the back and rough in the front, but
I didn't enjoy them.
So we'll see what Thunderbird's all about. So after 3 rides on Voyage, I think it is confirmed that, I mean, it's top 5 for me. You're thinking it could be top 1. You're thinking it could be number 1.
Not best overall ride experience, best ride ever built. So incredibly long and forceful and wow. And wooden.
I really wish Pilgrims was still there for us to ride.
Yeah, because we're doing the one.
And steal some of the lines from everybody, from all the other coasters, but all right, so we'll get on Thunderbird for real this time. Hopefully the line's not an hour, and then that'll be our last one.
Another ride on Thunderbird. Have a good day.
Alright, so there's Thunderbird. And William, best wing coaster out there, right?
It's hard to tell. They're just all different. I'm trying to get.
I think it's clear for me. This is better than Wild Eagle and Gatekeeper.
I don't know. I like Gatekeeper's drop is as unique as that launch.
I mean, that launch is tremendous.
That
launch is tremendous. We got 4 rides on it, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. On all 4 corners make that. So we were really lucky because when we came down here earlier, it was at least an hour, right?
That's what the kids said.
Yeah, it was at least an hour. We came here and just got straight walk-ons on this thing. Or at least station waits, but took no more than 45 minutes to do all 4 corners. So, I mean, the launch is tremendous. The inversions are awesome, all of them, especially the end one.
Yeah.
That's a standout element. That is a standout element. More of just the hang time than you get than going through the barn. is really cool. But the bar and station was really cool too.
I didn't
but
notice it either.
I think it's just, it's so complementative to Voyage, which is right here next to it, that you get, you know, we were saying, you know, what you get on Voyage, you get that, you get the wood, you get the, you know, the wood track, that wood feeling, you get the airtime, you get the length, you get, you know, just huge hills. And then when you go over to Thunderbird, which you can't see anymore because it's tucked away so far in the back, you get the inversions. It's a steel coaster, you get the launch. So it's an amazing one too, and especially because they're so different from one another.
Yeah.
You know, compare it to a park.
Interact with each other.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you compare it to a park like Canada's Wonderland with the Giga and the Hyper, and it's like, well, they're both B&M Hyper models. So, you know, it's just such an incredible one-two since they're so diverse. So,
I can't wait to see
water park time. But real quick on a side note, because you hate theming, despise it, despite it being the thing I want to do. What have you thought about like the theming around Holiday World?
I didn't notice it.
As they call themselves a theme park.
I wouldn't say that. I could sit here and tell you that that area was the 4th of July area. You know what I mean?
So I would say it's definitely not like Busch Gardens level or anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would say it's
Not
more of
even
like,
Bollywood level.
I feel like I'm walking around Hershey with the hills and like, it's nice and it's clean, but there's no like any over the top theming.
Hershey had
It's-
better operation.
It's all pretty regular. It's like mostly just, you know, nice looking wooden structures. Like it's not sheds or anything. But as far as theming goes, because this is a theme park, yeah, I would say it's pretty, you know, pretty decent. Maybe like Cedar Fair, Hershey level, but definitely not Busch Gardens or Dollywood at that. All right, so we're taking a quick car break. I'm gonna go to the water park. You're gonna get more rides in. All right, so I guess right now, currently, what are overall thoughts?
Voyage lived up to the expectations.
Yes, agreed. Voyage definitely lived up to expectations.
Thunderbird. I'll say live up to the. I'm not gonna say it exceeded.
Thunderbird, to me, I would say exceeded them a little bit. I think 1-2 punch between Voyage and Thunderbird is perfect.
It's a wing. It's still a wing coaster. It's not anything crazy intense or anything.
I think the park overall operations, I would say Thunderbird.
Jesus, operations need help.
Yeah, Thunderbird was all right. Thunderbird was about as good as it could get because the cycle is so damn quick that it couldn't run any more than 2. I mean,
There's still only 3 people working that entire wing coaster. Though.
Yeah.
One on each side.
Yeah, you can tell there's some staffing issues, but even other than that, I mean, even if they had more people, I mean, Thunderbird was running about as good as it could have been just
The girl
because
forgot to put our lap
its
bars
capacity
down
on Raven.
as she was going.
Yeah,
She was the one who was
Ravens was interesting because it seemed almost like it was stacking so bad and the operations were so slow getting the dispatches out that 1 train would have been more effective than 2 almost. It seemed like almost that would have been the case.
This retrack portion is the one good part I enjoy.
Yeah, there's some retracking over here that's honestly decent, but Raven was, I think, the 4th favorite of the day. That's definite. But then Legend had definitely the worst of the operations, running 1 train and just slow operations at that.
Yeah.
Voyage has been pretty deep. Voyage has an insanely short line. I think as far as wait times go, because that's what we were concerned about, Legend had an hour and a half and we only rode that once. Raven was
We didn't expect that to be
Raven was like 15 minutes. And then Voyage has been pretty much station wait, Thunderbird station wait. So, all right, I'm gonna hit the water park and then we'll see what happens after that. All right, so in the time William you did Legend in the back and Voyage in the front.
Yep.
So I went to the water park. I got on, Cheetah Chase was down, both sides.
Huh.
I got on Wildebeest, that took about 40 minutes. And then, or no, I got on Mammoth, that took about 40 minutes. Wildebeest, so what they did was they closed it for all people at like 4:45 so that they couldn't get more people in the queue, so that at 5 they would have their last riders. Well, I walked up anyway and snuck into the single rider queue, which only had like 4 people, and was able to get on before most people. Like, there's probably still people in the queue down there.
I think I saw it.
So I was able to get a ride on that, but I rode in the front, and so I just had water in my face the whole time. I actually preferred Mammoth. I think Mammoth was the better one.
Worth it or no?
Yeah, I would say worth. I mean, well, I got on Wildebeest in honestly like 10 minutes. I got on Mammoth in 40. Oh, look, the Rapids is open. It's the Rapids. Yeah, no, I had my phone in a locker.
I told you to tell me what the lines look like, but then I saw on Voyage's lift hill that's there, and the two you went on are in the corner of the water.
Look at that nice little Rapids area.
So all the way in the corner of the water tank, right? So you wanted to do?
Yeah, no, the walk to the back is like insane. It might honestly be the walk from like Voyage to the front of the park. So the water park is big. I would recommend, like, to anybody who would want to get on everything at least a couple times, they got to do 2 days here, one for the park and one for the water park. So back to Voyage. Back to Voyage. All right, so I think one ride on Voyage front row is the way to end the day.
For sure. Wow.
So we're heading out. It's got to be close to 6. Everything's closing down. So I guess when we get to the parking lot, we'll give our like final thoughts on the day. So let's just take a. This is just some of the merch. It's pretty much the only main Voyage shirt, and that one. The Thunderbirds are nice though.
See what I mean, dude?
I think these are top. But that's pretty much all they have. They don't really have a whole lot of Thunderbird and Voyage. But I think this one's pretty cool. Alright, so that is a wrap on our day at Holiday World. One of the most notable independent parks in America. I'm pretty sure it's family owned, but for sure it's independent. Obviously not a big chain park. So a lot of people talk about, you know, the nice things about this, you know, free parking, free drinks all day. And then, I mean, that was really good. It wasn't free lockers, I learned that. They were 15 if you want a locker for the water park. Yeah, but I mean, I got on Wildebeest and Mammoth, so I'm happy. You know, they have 4 coasters here, 2 of which, I mean, the Voyage is world class easily. William said it was year number 1. For me, it's easily top 5. You know, it's kind of hard at that point to compare it, you know, to Gigas and Steel Vengeance, but it is a perfect coaster. I can't find anything wrong with it. But Thunderbird I thought was incredible, and then, you know, Legend and Raven were okay. Raven a little bit less. Legend I would say I would like a little bit more if we didn't have to wait for 1 train ops for an hour and a half. I would have definitely enjoyed it more, maybe even gotten a second ride. You know, definitely I think they need some more rides here. Another coaster would definitely be nice. But just some more maybe good flat rides, because there really isn't a whole lot of flat rides, as we, you know, discovered with the crowds.
4 coasters, that's about it, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't do any flat rides.
to cap off the amount of rides that I got, at least, I got 4 on Voyage, 4 on Thunderbird, 1 on Legend, 2 on Raven, 1 on Mammoth, 1 on Wildebeest. And that was in an 8-hour day. We were here from open to close. So that's another thing I think that they could improve, is just, the first major thing would just be longer operating hours. I think 10's fine, but they close at 6. They should at least close at 8.
True, but it was clear that they did that because everybody's only working 1 shift.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's staffing issues, but I think once the COVID era kind of ends and they get staffing back up, I would really like to see them go to like 8 p.m. Because another issue I noticed with that is the water park is only open 11 to 5, and they close off the rides at 4:30 because they don't want anybody else building into the queues. So if you come here and you're like, you know, you want to do the big coasters, and like me, and you want to do the big water coasters, it's really hard to do all of them. I was able to do everything but Cheetah Chase because it was closed, but just beware that, you know, you only have so much time to ride all those, given that we got 4 rides on Thunderbird.
You got plan to do the water coasters with you too.
But I mean,
there was not enough time to do the water.
Yeah, there really was. I mean, I wound up waiting 40 minutes for Mammoth, and then yeah, I did sneak. I just kind of crept past that little sorry the ride is no longer taking guests and snuck into that single rider line to get a ride on Wildebeest, which was good. I did prefer Mammoth in the end because I just like I thought it seemed like a longer ride, and I like the bigger tubes with, you know, the ability to spin. But all around, if you really want, you know, the full experience with getting a ton of rides on coasters, and also you really want to experience the water park and not just 2 rides, you know, you want to get on Wildebeest and Cheetah Chase and Mammoth maybe once or twice, and then all those other water slides, you definitely need 2 days here. And I feel like in the future, when they eventually add, you know, a 5th big coaster, you know, this along with Splash and Safari would definitely be a really good 2 days. But if you're just coming for the coasters, you can definitely do it all in 1 day, as we did. But all around, you know, a very nice park, very clean park. It really reminded me of Hershey Park a lot. If you've ever been to Hershey Park, I would say, aside from the ride lineup, the parks, the way they, you know, the way they look and the way they feel are a lot of the same. Operations, though, I think that was
Abysmal. We could have done so many more rides.
I think we already touched upon the operations. Thunderbird was doing about as good as they could because that cycle is so quick. It was like a 2-minute cycle, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, it was stacking on the brake run with 2 trains, but that's just because the ride itself from launch to brakes ends so fast, they don't have time to get that next train out. So it can't run any more than 2. But Legend was only running 1. I don't know what was happening. Maybe we caught it on an off day where the other train was being fixed. But, you know,
I could have saw it on the track, I feel like, in the
yeah. As I always say, you know, an off day is a day, and, you know, it still counts. So, you know, to see that ride be an 1.5-hour wait is just kind of brutal.
Raven has 2 trains, too. That is amazing.
Yeah, Raven has 2 trains, and as I said before, the way I timed it was from dispatch to the brake run, so almost a whole cycle minus the station, it was 1:20. And it took 1:30 to get that train from the brake run back into the station and get those people off. So it almost was like, you may as well make it 1 train.
Yeah.
Voyage was good. I think we can agree that Voyage was
Especially
about...
once they started sending trains.
Yeah, Voyage was about as good as it could get, I would say. Thunderbird and Voyage were good, but Legend and Raven, you know, not only are they, I would say, well, Legend was decent, but Raven, I would say, is a subpar wooden coaster. But for 2 not so...
I would say Legend.
For 2 coaster, but for 2 woodies that aren't insane,
Yeah.
like there's no excuse to have bad operations. Especially because I would say, you know, it felt on the Legend and the Raven, the staff weren't going as fast as they could.
Correct, but to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, if you were working an entire day, dude, like,
yeah, this is true.
To do that for an entire shift.
Yeah, they would. The employees were there all day, open to close, and you know, you think the day starts at 10, you know, ends at 6. That's 8 plus, you know, however long they are opening and closing, which could be, you know, between 1 hour and 2 hours more. So you're looking at 9 or 10 hour days. I really think it is staffing issues that's just kind of hit everybody. But like I said, after
there was nothing closed really that would have affected us other than Cheetah Chase.
Other than Cheetah Chase at the water park, there was nothing at the main park that was closed.
Yeah.
Which was good. You know, we really lucked out there. We're hoping Beast is going to be open at Kings Island tomorrow. But I would say, you know, this is a park I would like to come back to at some point. Maybe not so soon, but definitely in the future when they get like another big coaster, right? Yeah, so when they get another big coaster, I would really like to see, you know, hopefully it's out of the COVID era.
I'm glad you started that clip while they could still see Holiday, where they can see how fast we're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it is middle of nowhere out here. It's amazing that there's a theme park out here. A lot of the people that were there today, at least that we, you know, ran into and someone talked to, were from out of the area. And shout out to my fan who met me in line for Legend, and also we got to see at numerous points throughout the day. That was cool meeting you. But I would say, you know, if I were to come back to this park, you know, in like 7 or more years after they get another big coaster, I would really like to see, you know, have the staff be 2 different sets of staff so they can get better operations on there and not fatigue their own members. Definitely 2 trains on Legend, and maybe just even longer operations. Keep that water park open till at least 7 and not 5, and keep that dry park open till at least 8. That's what I would say. But everything, you know, the free parking's nice. The drinks were clutch. I mean, we were at those stations after like every ride.
That could really kill a trip in a mood if you're just in a hot day and you can't get drinks. So nice to not have to worry about it.
Or if, you know, you think, you know, you're bucking up $6 for a drink or something or like that. I mean, we didn't get any food while we were there, but the free drinks it was fantastic. So I absolutely love that. I know it's not something that all parks are going to do because they focus so much on like revenue and, you know, net profits and stuff, but as far as Holiday World goes, as an independent park, they can do that, and that's awesome.
I wonder how they were able to do that.
But that was my main critique, was that I just hope for a little bit better operations from an independent park, and I just wish that they had longer hours. I wish we could have stayed there for a little bit longer. But anything from you as far as critiques beside operations?
Park, like you said, clean. People said that's the cleanest park, or I think it's voted the cleanest park. So
Voted, yeah, it was a clean park.
Like, not something that like hella people care about, but there were bathrooms everywhere, and there were a lot of those free drink stands too. Like at every ride exit, you could see them everywhere. So
yeah,
definitely
they call them the Pepsi Oases, which is where you can get the free drinks, and they're everywhere. So great park overall. You said Voyage. I mean, yeah. Voyage was definitely worth it alone. It was very hilly.
I just don't like how Thunderbird's by itself.
Yeah, it is very spread out. So you have Raven and Legend.
I see what you say. It's like Hershey because it low-key does go into like.
Although it's not as bad because Raven to Legend is right next to each other.
Right next to each other. And
Legend to Voyage is not that far, but Thunderbird is tucked so far in the back, it's ridiculous.
And uphill.
It is, but I mean, there's nothing you can really do about a park layout. You know, you get the land it's the hand you're dealt with a lot of these parks. So that's really all there was to it. But other than that, I mean, a great park, definitely worth it. I had a good day. Will, you had a good day?
I'm definitely adding a backfire slash to a prediction just so we can use that Pilgrim's Plunge later. Like,
yeah, this is true. The old Pilgrim's Plunge ride that was there is the ride obviously isn't there, but the station and the land with the pool is still there. So they're definitely going to replace that at some point. And that's over by Voyage and Thunderbird, so that'll be something else for that area.
Painted and on too, like it looks nice.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll be able to put that. But that's going to be it for this vlog. Kings Island tomorrow. We've got Orion, Diamondback, Banshee. Hopefully the Beast is open. We've been hearing mixed.
We're getting Zach on the Beast.
We've been hearing mixed things. And I'll talk
Thomas
about.
Thomas wouldn't have invited us to drive all the way back.
Yeah, Thomas at Coaster Media works there. He joked to us earlier that he told us yesterday it wasn't open, and then he joked to us that it was, and then he actually told us that it was. We have no idea what to believe from Coaster Media, but we'll see tomorrow. But that's going to be it for this vlog. Holiday World, great park, and I will see you guys at Kings Island tomorrow.